want to introduce you to one of my favorite trees here at the Montshire. This is a big, giant white pine tree out on the Meadow Loop next to the Connecticut River. And what we're going to be doing today for the Montshire at home is you're going to be finding your own favorite tree outside in the woods. And what you're going to be doing is gathering as much information about your tree as possible. First of all, I know this is a white pine because I found a few good clues. I found its very feathery needles, like a feather duster. White pines have the softest needles here in New England. The other thing I found that let me know it was a white pine tree were its very long, slender pine cones. And for our white pine, I also want to give you a chance to measure your favorite tree out in the woods. Let's get a little closer and I'll show you how. Now we're a lot closer to my big white pine now. You can see how huge it is. And to really measure it, I'm going to have to use this tape measure. We're going to be doing 3 measurements on your favorite tree at home. The first one is going to be the circumference, or how big around it is. You could, if you have a smaller tree, hug your tree and then measure how big your arms are. My tree is not going to work. So I used a measuring tape and I wrapped it all the way around my tree, and my tree was 142 inches across. It was a huge tree around it. But the second measurement we're going to do is the diameter of the tree. That's how far across the tree is. Now, my tree, I could try to hold this out to measure it, but I could also do some math. Since trees are round, to find their diameter, you're going to get to use a mathematical formula using geometry and circles. Now, the magic number for circles is pi, which is 3.14, and to find the diameter, I'm going to take the circumference, 142 inches, divide it by pi, 3.14, and this giant white pine is 45 inches across. That is really, really, really big. Now, the last measurement you're going to get to do on your favorite tree is to find out how tall your tree is. There's 2 ways you could do this. I could climb to the very top of this tree, or I could use math. I'm going to use math. Now, to find how tall your tree is, you're going to need to find a stick that is as long as your arm. I just happen to have that stick right here. I'm going to hold my stick at the very bottom like this, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom of my tree and with the top of my tree. Wait, it's not lined up with the trunk or the top even. I'm going to have to go for a walk all the way out into the meadow until my stick, held all the way out from bottom to top, is perfectly lined up. And then I'm going to measure how far away from my tree I walked, and that's the height. Let me show you. Hello! I did it! I just lined up my arm length stick, arm's length out from the bottom of my tree to the top of my tree, and my tree is 80 feet tall. It's huge! So I'm back at my big 80-foot tall white pine tree. And what I'm going to have you do when you head out into the woods today for Montshire at home is check out that activity guide. You have a chance to measure the circumference of your tree, the height of your tree using math and a stick, and the diameter of your tree too. But there's also space to draw your tree, to sketch in those seeds or pine cones, to rub the bark, to draw those leaves. You will have a chance to write down everything you love about your favorite tree. You'll even have a chance to give it its own name. My big white pine tree, I'm gonna call it an elephant tree. It has a huge trunk-like branch, just like an elephant does. So head out into the woods, find your favorite tree, measure it, draw it, and love it.